Good morning. It's Monday. Welcome back to the Mind Body Business Podcast. I'm Jane Bellante, and I titled this episode The Cycle of Nothing because I really truly feel like this describes most of us and most of where we are in day-to-day life. Welcome to the Mind Body Business Podcast. I'm your host, Jane Bellante. And this show is about what happens when you stop separating your life, your work, and your well-being, and start leading all of it from truth. Each episode will explore the connection between your thoughts, your body, and your business, so you can create a life and success that actually feels good. Let's get started. So let's get started talking about this today. One of my next level members actually termed this, and I stole it from her because it's so good. The cycle of nothing. And when I say being stuck in the cycle of nothing, it's sort of this thing where we just keep doing, and nothing really ever changes. So our days are filled, we're handling the things that need to be handled. We're supporting other people. We're being responsible. And from the outside, everything sort of looks functional. Everything looks steady. And on the inside, we kind of feel empty. And we're taking care of so many people, so many things, saying yes when we don't want to say yes, doing it anyways because we like the person or whatever, right? That we start to lose who we are. And one day we wake up and we literally are like, who am I? And if you're in this stage of life, like myself, I'm 54, kids left, a couple years ago. For so long, I identified myself as mom. And it's not that I'm not a mom anymore, but I'm not a mom anymore. I'm not in the same sense. So that in itself made me start to lose that sense of self. When it comes to business, it's the constant felt need to perform, especially because of social media. And what happens is we just keep that performance. We keep performing and performing and performing. And we think that that's what we're supposed to do because other people are doing it. Yet we don't feel fulfilled. And it feels like we're standing in a current that keeps flowing outward. Your energy just keeps going into making sure that things are running, that other people are okay, that other people's needs are met. And like we respond super quick. And we are the ones that keep everything moving. But by the end of the day, there's nothing that you went through during the day that says this was for me. I did this for me. So, first of all, I want to know if this is resonating with you or if it has resonated with you in the past. Because most of the women that I chat with, this is a familiar cycle. And it's not about inactivity. It's really just motion without this personal imprint. And the structure of your life stays intact, but your own expansion, it's like stagnant. And what we do is we show up for everybody else's growth while our own desires wait in the background. Or, like for me, I'm thinking back to when I had my store, my last store. I had all of my art on the walls, painted furniture. It was a beautiful space, but I would walk in there and wonder, like, why this wasn't it. Why I didn't feel complete or whole. And now that I look back on it, I know that I was performing every bit of it, even though I was allowing myself to create, and that was beautiful, right? It was, I had the store, I had all the DIY products because I saw other people being successful with that without taking a step back to understand what success even meant for me. I didn't even know who I was or who I was being, for that matter. And I had just come out of getting a stint, and it was COVID. The kids were graduating from high school. And even though I had just gotten a stint, I didn't even take a step back for myself. I didn't even slow down. It was like I got the stint, I came home the next day, and I was just thrown back into regular life. That's what the cycle of nothing feels like. It's like you're a robot. And then you start overthinking again and again and again and again and again, right? That overthinking where you have, 10 different outcomes for the scenario. Because you almost feel like this is responsible, right? Well, I'm being responsible. I'm planning out every single scenario. I'm being responsible. But that's autopilot, right? And that is what if negative. And what if negative keeps us in the cycle of nothing because nothing will ever change. And what ends up happening is we just keep losing ourselves and losing ourselves and losing ourselves. We wake up in anxiety. We wake up and we're already in anxiety. Do you feel that? Do you know that? And your mind starts running before your feet even hit the floor, right? You're like, okay, today I got to do this. I got to go pick up this. I got to go to the doctor. I got to blah, blah, blah. And this and this. And this is what I'm having for dinner. And oh my God, this conversation that I had, I'm not sure if I should have said that. And what if I said this? And maybe I should text an email and maybe blah, 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 right? And then we begin moving through the day like we're a machine. Right? We trudge to the bathroom. We get ready for work or whatever it is that we're doing, during the day. We go make our coffee. We have our breakfast. It's the same day again and again and again and again and again. We check things off the list. Sometimes we forget to eat. We drive somewhere and we barely remember how we got there because we are stuck in overthinking, right? And then we might be saying to ourselves, something like, ugh, I'm so overwhelmed. I have said I'm burned out more times than I care to admit. And we're wondering why we can't ever just make a simple decision. We're saying, I got to figure this out. If I could just figure this out, let me figure this out. We're doubting ourselves and questioning ourselves like we aren't enough because I should be able to handle this. I should be able to manage this. Maybe I just need a better system, right? But the system's not the problem. The problem is you're tired. And there's almost never a true off switch for you. Because even when we sit down to take a break, what are we doing? We're scrolling. We get on social media and we scroll. We want to get out of our own heads so bad that we go and scroll so we can look at something else to take us out of our thoughts. And if you put your phone down for a second, we're already back into that to-do list. What did I forget? Okay, what's next? What's next on the list? Or, oh my gosh, let me replay that conversation. Did I say the wrong thing? Should I have done that differently? And that's the cycle of nothing. It keeps happening. You are the reliable one. Is that hitting? Like, you are the reliable one. You're the one that gets stuff done, the capable one. You're the one who figures it out. This is me to a T. I'm always the one who has to, had to figure everything out, especially with the kids, like doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that, running a business, And I mean, that's just the way it is, right? That's what women do. But what happens is that over time, the inside world, the real us, it gets more distant and more distant and more distant and more distant and more distant. And we don't even know who we are anymore. And when we try to rest, our body just cannot settle down. We feel guilty for sitting down. And that stillness actually feels unfamiliar. And we hear like, we'll just sit down and journal. Well, like, if you don't know what to journal, how are you going to sit down and journal? Or we hear like, you need to meditate. And you're sitting there going, I've tried to meditate 600 times. It doesn't work for me. There's a reason for that, by the way. So then we fill that space because we don't feel comfortable in our own bodies when we are quiet. Right? We fill that space with scrolling, with more planning, with replaying those conversations. And we're functioning. We're totally functioning. Again, on the outside, from the outside, we look fine. It looks like our life is great, right? But we're putting on this facade because we don't really know anymore. And of course we feel this way because we have been responding, we've been adjusting to other people's schedules, other people's ways of being, we've been accommodating for everybody else all the time. And when everything is outward facing, this inside life that we should be focusing on, the truth of who we are, it gets quieter and quieter and quieter and quieter. It's really, really easy to lose track of ourselves. And of course, taking care of others, it's amazing, right? You don't have to be a mom to take care of others. We as women are nurturing. But when it becomes the dominant pattern that you're always taking care of somebody else first, your attention stays outward and your wants move into the background. And then we don't even know what we want anymore. I don't know what I want anymore. I don't know. Can't tell you how many people I've coached, and I've said it myself. Well, what do you want? I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. Because we don't take time for ourselves to even allow ourselves to know what we want. Everybody else is more important than us. And underneath those words, I don't know what I want, it really and truly is a desire to feel present in your own life again. True? Is this true? If you're here live with me, let me know if you think this is true. A desire to feel present in your own life again. To feel momentum that actually includes you. Because the cycle of nothing really is a life that functions well while your own expansion like waits its turn. So we become highly skilled at anticipating things, and it's always negative. What if negative? What if negative? What if negative? Right? And I'm finally like, if I can use a metaphor or a story here, it's like this hits because when my daughter first went to college, she was, she went hog wild, right? And if she didn't text me back, I automatically thought she was dead. Something was wrong. She's blah, 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 right? And so that was, let's see, 2021. It's 2026 now. I can finally, even though I still check in with her every day, and even though I might start spiraling, I can stop the spiral now. So that what if negative is finally starting to dissipate, detaching from negative outcome. But that's what we do. We're what if negative. And it's so automatic. And this cycle of nothing, it does include a trade-off. And the trade-off is us neglecting ourselves. And it's not like we're choosing this, right? It's an ingrained pattern. And this cycle of nothing is choice. But we have to be aware that we're in it. Right? So awareness that you're putting yourself last is the first thing. When you keep saying yes when you mean no, that's a big one. We are people pleasers. We are nurturers. But what we are forgetting to do is nurture ourselves. Right? Oh, I love that. Angela said, love the analogy from the movie The Replacements. Looking at a duck, it looks calm and peaceful above the water, but below the water level, the legs are working up a storm. And that's so true. It's so true. So we have this desire inside of us that we have neglected. And if we don't take that time to check in with ourselves and to nurture ourselves, we're never going to find it again. Do you want to keep living like this or don't you? That is the choice. Show up fully for others or show up fully for yourself. It's choice. And I go, well, I don't have time. I don't have time. I do not have time to show up for myself. I don't have time to do something extra. Well, what does that say about you? Same thing, right? Cycle of nothing. Never doing anything for yourself. Never prioritizing yourself. Ever. Or in just little baby bits. Just baby bits. And don't we desire more? Don't we want more of that inner freedom? Don't we want to step out of that anxiety, even if it's just for, an hour a week? What if we allowed ourselves that? What if? It's like this hunger that we have for self-directed expansion, but we never feed that hunger. We always fill it with something else. We fill it with something else. We fill it with drinking. We fill it with scrolling. We fill it with doing what your partner wants to do instead of what you want to do. We fill it with shopping. We fill it with thrifting, buying more art products, getting more things. But does any of that ever fill that void that's inside of you? What if we allowed ourselves to actually take time for ourselves? Even if it's just once a week. What if? Like, what does that feel like for you? What if we took time for ourselves? What if? What could change for you if you actually took the time to allow yourself to be quiet, to allow yourself to give yourself some self-care, to allow yourself to interrupt the pattern of negativity, to interrupt all of the control, to interrupt all of the overthinking? Because all of that, it settles into your body and it turns into disease, right? And that might be anxiety, stress, or it might be actual health problems. I can raise my hand for that. The stint in that I ended up getting was spontaneous. I had no symptoms. I didn't have high blood pressure, like none of that. I had none of that, right? So when we sit in this cycle of nothing and we're always doing for others and never for ourselves, it turns into dis-ease. And don't you want to stop that? Don't you want to live the best, most healthiest life that you can possibly live? Do you want that? If you're here, tell me. Tell me in the comments. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, tell me in the comments. Are you taking care of yourself the way that you deserve to be taken care of? Or are we sitting in doing for others all the time because we don't feel like we're worthy? We don't feel like we deserve better. Let me just prove to others that I'm good enough by doing everything for everybody else and depleting the crap out of myself. Let's keep doing that, right? I did that even when I got the stint. I still did it for years. Neglected myself completely. Just back right into regular life, right? Are you here? Is this hitting home for you? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I am now, but it's a constant battle, right? Right. And if we change that word battle to choice, it gives us our, autonomy back, right? So instead of you're battling it and it's always the foot on your head, smashing you down, right? If it's choice, then it's up to you, right? Then you are in control. I choose to neglect myself and think I'm not worthy, or I choose to fulfill myself. I choose to give myself care. Like, what feels better? What feels better? So, yeah, good. I have something for you today, and it's called Restoration Refuge. And so Restoration Refuge is where you actually get to interrupt the pattern. You actually get to carve out time for yourself without feeling guilty, to give yourself the time to slow down your thinking, to notice what's actually going on inside of you, to hear your own thoughts, your own wants, your own desires clearly again. And this is through a really, really simple and contained rhythm. And you can reconnect with the parts of yourself that are drowned out on a daily basis. And I'm really excited to bring this to you today. It is a monthly rhythm. There's a clear path. And it's like a mini retreat that you can give yourself at home, because we can't just, most of us can't just up and go to a retreat whenever we want to, right? So I'm giving you a way to give yourself a mini retreat at home every single month that will just take you, an hour or so a week. Can you carve out an hour a week for yourself to start giving yourself back what you give to everybody else, to stop depleting yourself. So we open the month together with an orientation or a realization, like, how are you overgiving right now? How are you not setting boundaries right now? Some things like that. We ground. I do have a fully produced meditation for you every single month. And I am, by the way, a master meditation teacher. So I've been a master meditation teacher since about 2005. So about 20 years, I've been creating meditations that help others. But these are not just meditations that you're just going, oh, right? These are really guided meditations that take you from one place to another. And by the end, you have awarenesses of who you're being. So that's week one. It's live. It's live together. If you can't be there live, watch the replay. This month, it's not live because I'm going to Maui on Wednesday. Normally, it would be on a Wednesday. And then week two is immersion. So I'm giving you some kind of immersion experience. It's going to change with the theme each month, but it's a nature-based experience. And I'm not saying like go out in the middle of the forest and get eaten by 700 mosquitoes. This is not what I'm talking about, right? It is just a way for you to be in the world, to understand what is true, to step out of the cycle, to step off of the treadmill of life and ground and breathe and just be. It's so, so good. And then week three is embodiment. And this is my signature transformational art journaling that I call Art Fusion Journaling, or it's intuitive art. So we get together, I guide you through some stream of consciousness journaling, and then you will create something on top. You do not need to be an artist. Okay, this is just about expression. It's not about outcome. And then week four is release. We'll have some kind of letting go ritual. Maybe it'll be a salt bath, something. I'll give you something at the end of the month. So it's a completion, a letting go, and it's an integration. And then, of course, you have the community and the replay library all at your, convenience. So this is Restoration Restore. I am absolutely so thrilled to bring this to you. I haven't even launched it to anybody yet. And so I'm putting in the link right now. If this is interesting at all to you, normal price is $47, but because it's brand new, I'm offering a founding member price of $37 a month, or $444 for the year. And what I want to say to you is if this is hitting, if you're realizing that you're not taking time for yourself and you really wish you could go on a retreat, that you could give back to yourself, this is it. This is a beautiful, warm, and comforting place for you to step out of the cycle of nothing, to understand what your own desires are. Thanks, Connie. And yes, there's meditation. I just mentioned that. And if you are saying meditation doesn't work for me, I'm going to teach you how to do it properly so that it will. Because there's a reason. If you're sitting down in the middle of the day and you're trying to meditate and your brain won't stop, there's a reason. It's a brainwave state, right? There is a reason. So step into Restoration Refuge. There's actually a really, really fun add-on if you choose, and that is Retreat in a Box. And that is a monthly box that comes to you filled with self-care and creative products. I'm super, super excited about it. This month, this box is going to ship to you on the 23rd, but following it will ship on the 1st. So again, I'm just launching this. This is a super soft launch. I'm going to Maui. I'm going to Maui for 2 weeks. That's why it's not going to ship until the 23rd. So everything is chosen for you in this box. It feels elevated. It feels like you get to give to yourself instead of somebody else. So that is the optional add-on retreat box that I cannot wait. I love curating a beautiful box of self-care gifts. I love it. And it's going to have some creative stuff in it too. There's going to be some papers in there. Some, I don't even know. We're going to put it together each month based on the theme. And so it's just a beautiful thing to give to yourself. And listen, when you step into Restoration Refuge, I want you to actually commit to taking care of yourself. I want you to commit to it, because if you don't and you just sign up, you go, I joined that. It didn't do anything for me, right? Well, because you didn't commit and you didn't do it. It's time to put yourself first. It's time to step out of the cycle of nothing. It's time. So I cannot wait to see you inside of Restoration Restore. So thank you so much for being here today. Let me just take 2 minutes here to talk about my podcast partners, because they're so, so important to me. Every one of these partners is actually in my mastermind. And so I want to just take a minute to introduce them to you. So we have Tendril and Thistle. By the way, Tendril and Thistle products will be in the retreat box. I'm so excited to put her beautiful, beautiful self-care products in there. So Tendril and Thistle invites you to slow down just for a moment and reconnect with yourself. Each self-care invitation is a small act of restoration, crafted with comforting, handcrafted pure essential oil blends and naturally derived ingredients to meet you right where you are. So if you're beginning your day, if you're actually allowing yourself to pause to take a breath, tending to your body, or unwinding into rest, these simple mindful moments remind you that care doesn't need to be elaborate to be meaningful. So you can go to tendrilandthistle.com/pages/the invitation and use code MindBody10 for 10% off. And then I want to talk about the Royce Cycled retreat that is coming up in April, that I am so grateful to be a co-facilitator with Royce. And this is a retreat where we get to create, we get to stop telling ourselves that we can't create, we get to stop overthinking and just put our hands in the products and play. And I cannot wait. I'm actually going to be doing some of that art fusion journaling I talked about, and so many other things. And Royce has a beautiful gift for you, a gift package for you when you come. And again, so many other amazing things. And Safford is a really fun place to be. It's in Safford, Arizona. And there is a festival going on that whole weekend as well. So there's so much to do and so much to see. So I just put the link in for that retreat. I do not think there's many spaces left. So get yourself in there and come and join us. So lastly, but not least, of course, is Angela and Dogwood Exchange. And Dogwood Exchange is a welcoming gathering place where creativity is nurtured through classes and small businesses are supported through festivals and connections. And it's an amazing retreat space. So it is in Crossville, Tennessee, and it is incredibly beautiful. So you can check out more at dogwoodexchange.com. So thank you for being here. If this hit home and you're not already a founding member of Restoration Refuge, I invite you to step in. Give yourself that time. Give yourself that time. If you step in at the yearly level, you do get a little bit of a discount. And again, this $37 founding member price is not going to last. I have not launched this at all. So I'm just telling you, my wonderful podcast listeners, about it. And then I will have a formal launch a little bit later. So if you want to step in as a founding member, get in now. Give yourself this gift. Give yourself this gift. So thank you for being here. Next week, Monday, I'm going to be in Maui, and Maui time, when it's 10 a.m. Central, I can't remember when clocks change, but it's either 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning if clocks have already changed. So I'm not going to be live at 5 or 6 in the morning, but I will record something and I will post it so that you can still be here at 10 Central and still be part of the podcast. So thank you so much for being here live. Thank you so much for listening or watching the replay on YouTube, and I will see you next week.